Welcome to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Now here along with Dr. Bonati, your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell. Our friend, executive producer of AM Tampa Bay, Ethan Euchre's with us.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Our radio and TV senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff.
Good afternoon.
And across from me, we have world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute. Thank you for being here, sir.
Good afternoon.
I have to say, he sounds like Froggy today.
Yes.
He, for the first time in nearly a year, has a cold.
Say
This is a benchmark.
say it's not easy being green, Dr. Bonati. He doesn't want to play my games.
You could sing it and sound very much like Kermit.
The Rainbow Connection. Sing the Rainbow Connection. The Rainbow Connection. Anyways,
I think the Democrats are going to be very happy today.
because you're going to be tamed due to your larynx.
Could it be a conspiracy theory?
Could be. Who knows?
On a serious note, the Bonati Spine Institute is all about results, and Dr. Bonati was revolutionary in his field, and he had the foresight to see the problems with traditional open spine surgery, develop his own methods and instrumentation to make that happen. The exclusive and patented Bonati spine procedures work. Many imitators in the industry try to ride those coattails and jump on that minimally invasive bandwagon, but they haven't been able to perfect the procedure. And besides the fact it's patented, they don't know how to perform it. So you're not getting the same results. A recent 5-year survey on patient satisfaction reflects a 98.75% immediate success rate with the Bonati spine procedures. And that's true patient resolve. So when we say we're all about results, it's true, and Bonati succeeds where others fail. On today's show, we have Moshe Doman. He's going to be on later talking about drug take-back and giving everyone some locations where they can safely dispose of those products. And
Yeah, it's actually, a lot of people don't realize that there's such a problem, such an issue with getting rid of old prescriptions, and especially if you have children and even teenagers.
Yes.
I have a personal story that I'll relate when we have Moshe on, but the teenagers will get into the drugs because, well, they're looking for a buzz. So what's a safe way to get rid of these drugs? Today, apparently, is National Take Back Day, and we'll give out, as Kimberly said, some locations around the Bay Area where you can drop off your drugs safely, and the DEA will get rid of them.
Perfect. And then we'll hear about what's new in American medicine today with Dr. Alfred Bonati. But up first, in our Back to Life segment, we have patient Michael DiPierdomenico on the phone, and he's calling from, is it Amherstburg, Ontario?
Amherstburg, Ontario.
Amherstburg. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for joining us, Mike.
No problem.
I'm just happy, Mike. Side note here before we get into your story, I'm just glad that you're not from Montreal because our senior fellow Jeff might have an issue with you.
Well, the Montreal Canadiens just knocked out the Tampa Bay Lightning out of the playoffs, so there might be a little animosity there.
Yeah, no, not a Habs fan, so don't have to worry about that.
I don't know what that means, but I'm glad.
Montreal Canadiens. I mean, short form they call them Habs. In Montreal, they call them the Habs.
You learn something new every day.
See, learning from the locals. Mike, why don't you go ahead and kind of tell us your story? How did you end up in pain, and then kind of walk us through that whole process? Did you seek out other treatment, and how you found the Bonati Spine Institute?
Basically, at the age of 17, I'm 33 now. At the age of 17, I came across an awkward kind of a feeling that I've never felt before. I was in sports, played quite a bit of hockey, and at the time I was drafted to the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, which is their OHL team. So I was going pretty high up with hockey and staying pretty active with it. Also weightlifting, and this kind of pain that I felt completely stopped me in my tracks. And at first I didn't know what to do. I spent the first week kind of just laying around, more kind of bummed out, as I knew it wasn't a muscle or anything I've ever experienced. So as time went on, I decided that I should probably go see someone, and they suggested an MRI. And from then, I was notified that I did have 4 or 5 bulging discs that were have been ruptured and were against my my sciatic and other nerves in my back, and they kind of made it clear to me at that point that probably hockey is not the best choice for me because of my condition, and I should probably start thinking of other plans in my life or other ways to entertain myself. And like I said, I didn't know what to do at the time. I was pretty bummed out. I mean, that meant that was my life, and as such a young guy, I didn't know exactly what to do.
So, Mike, what did some of these doctors tell you after you went and saw them? Did they tell you that they could fix it no problem? Did they tell you there's nothing we can do? I mean, what was the prognosis for you?
In between, because over here in Canada, when you make an appointment with a specialist, you have to wait 2-3 months to get in. So in the meantime, I was trying a little bit of massage therapy, some a lot of ice treatments. I bought an inversion table, which is a table you can strap your feet in, lean back, and it takes all the pressure off of your low back. And they say it acts as a vacuum device to pull the disc back in. And like I was at a chiropractor. Pretty well at physio, at anything I could think of while waiting to see the one of the surgeons that we have here close to Amherstburg, actually in Windsor, Ontario, and to no success. None of those helped me one little bit, and something in the back of my mind kind of said, I'll probably need some work done. I'll have to sit tight, wait till then, and then I can move on. So the appointment eventually did come, and I sat down with him, and just kind of remember to this day because it was such a something I'll never forget, that he kind of reviewed it with me and said, yes, you do have these discs that are herniated, and yes, you do have 4 or 5, I forget at that time how many I had herniated, but he did confirm that and told me where they were and why I'm feeling the pain I was in and what to do about it. For examples, don't play hockey, stop running, stop working out, stop.
Basically,
it was
stop
well,
everything
a
you
good
love.
90% of my lifestyle is what he told me to stop that day.
And that's not what anybody wants to hear, Mike. Is that you have to completely change your.
Like, I mean, I went home after that, and I was started to kind of finding myself, sink into a little bit of a depression, thinking like, where do I go? What do I do? Like, if the surgeon tells me he can't help me, and no, you're not a candidate to be operated on because you're not in a wheelchair, or you can still move your leg technically, so I'm not going to touch you because the risk is too high, especially at your age. I thought, I have tried everything else. What is there left for me to do? Right. And here in Canada, what they do is they put you on a high dose of a narcotic medication and try and keep you comfortable and to the next visit. And pretty well, you go for your refill, and they tell you to stay away from all the things that affect it. And like I said, it was to the point where my quality of life was gone.
Mike, tell us what led you to seek alternative treatments, then ultimately led you to the Bonati Spine Institute.
Okay, I remember one weekend I kind of went down to my knees, and what I was feeling was just almost. It's hard even to explain to someone who hasn't felt it, actually, what I was going through. And so I decided to call an ambulance, and I went down to a local hospital in Windsor, and I waited my 8 hours to get in. Finally I did, And they pulled up some of my old MRIs that they did from years in the past, and they said, okay, we might have to take a newer one to see if there's been any changes, anything that we're missing, anything like that. And I decided, I'm going to stay. There's nowhere else for me to go. I can't do anything anyway, kind of thing. So they did their best in that day and a half. I was there to keep me comfortable. They were coming in every few hours with changing my ice packs and rolling me over a bit and giving me some shots.
Mike?
Yes?
They were giving you shots to probably numb your pain, but did anyone step up and say what their way for resolve of your pain was? Did they tell you what they could do for you?
Actually, after about a day and a half of being there, the results did come back, and I remember the actual surgeon himself that they promised me that I was going to see for actually it was about 12 hours. I was waiting for him. He didn't even walk in. He had his assistant actually walk in for him to tell me that yes, we have found a few more herniated discs in your thoracic area. That's the section that we had MRI'd, which is the mid area of the back. And he said, Mike, a lot of people in this world have that. You'll have to find ways to deal with it. And again, I was crushed mentally, and having a business that I had to close down. I wasn't able to drive for more than half an hour because the pain got so intense.
Hey, Mike, I'm gonna pause you right there. We're up against a break, but I want to hear the remainder of your fascinating story as well as your experience at the Bonati Spine Institute and the results. And Kimberly, if people are suffering pain like Mr. Mike here, how do they get in touch?
Well, if they're suffering from neck, back, or sciatic pain, they can reach out to the Bonati Spine Institute at 855-267-0482 or visit the website at bonati.com. On the flip side of the break, we'll hear more from Mike and his amazing, miraculous recovery. You're listening to News Radio 970, WFLA. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail. The Bonati Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at bonati.com.
All my pain is gone.
Today I am totally pain-free. Nothing. No after effect.
I'm pain-free, and I have had to take any pain medication.
Today I am pain-free for the first time in over a year, and it is so awesome.
I only wish I'd known about it earlier. Right now, I am completely without pain.
Sitting here in this office right now, pain-free, eager to enjoy the rest of my life.
I am feeling great.
I feel 100% better, like a new person.
Today I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just incredible, the relief I feel right now.
Today I'm completely pain-free.
During the procedure, I literally felt the pain melt away. It was fantastic.
I feel so good.
It took care of my headaches instantly.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. It gave me my life back.
It's just wonderful.
I feel fantastic.
It is just absolutely amazing.
So I'm hoping to be climbing hills in a few weeks.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonatti Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonatti spine procedures, Alfred Bonatti, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonatti and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for listening to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by orthopedic surgeon Alfred O. Bonatti, as well as Ethan Euchre and Jeff Wagstaff. Still on the line, we have patient Michael DiPierdomenico. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Mike.
You got it.
But you were telling us about how many years you've suffered in pain from like age 16 or 17, and now you're, what, 33? 33? Yeah, such a young man to be going through what you're going through. And you said with the treatment in Canada, sometimes you're not able to receive medical treatment unless you're in a wheelchair.
Exactly. And as a matter of fact, we have quite a few pain management centers, they call them, where you can go and talk to, I call them almost like a counselor, and trying to find ways to either meditate, ways to breathe.
But not resolve pain.
Exactly.
So
your quality of life is still, in my belief, it's still gone.
Right.
So yeah.
Now, why don't we fast forward to how did you find the Bonatti Spine Institute? Or, well, why don't we stop? When the doctors finally diagnosed you, what did you say your options were, and what type of surgery were they talking? And then how you found the Bonatti Institute?
Okay, yep. So backing up to when I was in the hospital that weekend there, and the assistant came in and asked me, or told me what I had and what they found. And he said, because you're so young and the chances are so against you, and there's this, and this, that could happen. I changed my tune with them at this point, and I said, I want to get it done. I'll sign what it. I don't really, in my mind, have a choice. I don't think anymore. I'm to the point where I'll take those risks if that's what it's going to come down to.
What were they offering you? Was it fusions?
It was. We do here. They call them spinal fusions that include a lot of hardware.
Right.
There really isn't anything. 4 or 5 hours away from me, there's something I heard of called the laser spine treatment that they go right in through with a laser, and to me, I didn't really even that didn't make sense to me. I didn't know how a laser could go in and clean up discs. You know what I mean? We're pressing up against any nerves or anything like that. So I didn't bother looking further into that. But back when
Mike, may I interrupt you for a second? These fusions, was it one or was it multiple they were saying you'd need?
Multiple.
Okay. With that said, that's highly invasive. Obviously, you sought out the Bonatti Spine Institute. How did you find the Bonatti Institute, and kind of walk us through what it was like when you arrived?
Okay. After I left the hospital, I remember a brief moment when it was about 2-3 o'clock in the morning. The nurse came in to change my ice, and she saw me obviously in agony in the situation I was in, and she said, we had a little talk, and this is what started the ball rolling in my mind. She basically told me, Mike, believe in yourself, stay strong, there's always hope. Why I'm telling you this is my brother, who at the time, I think she said about in his 40s, had 2 small kids, and also from Canada. She said, you kind of remind me of him because the same thing happened to him. He was to the point where he lost his business also. He was bedridden with 2 small kids, and the same thing, they wouldn't operate on him. And so he decided to seek out other options, and he actually went over to I believe she said Buffalo, which is in the U.S. And to make a long story short, she pretty much said that, you know, he went there, he got a few things done. I didn't really get too involved because I didn't know what she was talking about.
Basically, she told you that there's hope out there.
She told me that there was hope, and it kind of caught my attention.
Sure.
For the first time in forever.
Mike, for the sake of time, let's just jump ahead. You got down here, you visited Dr. Bonatti in sunny Florida, and walk us through that experience. What was it like walking in? And we have about 3 minutes remaining. If you could kind of encapsulate your entire experience, the procedure up until now.
Beautiful place. I talked to the people over the phone. They seemed like great people, and that's what gave me my decision. You know, that's where I'm going to go. They were friendly to me. I walked in and very polite, very, very professional and helpful and calming. And the experience I had since when I walked in was just from start to finish was awesome. And I've been back a few times since the first visit. Because of the work that they've done.
Mike, we've spoken to so many patients from the Bonatti Spine Institute, and the part that still amazes me today is that you are awake, aware, and alert while the physician is performing the procedure.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about how that relieved your pain during the procedure.
Because I was able to not really have a conversation, but kind of guide him in a way with little things, yes and no, where that's the nerves that's bothering me, yes, that's where the pain is going, so we could actually nail the problem rather than taking a shot in the dark kind of thing and taking a guess. I kind of felt more actually better knowing that, yes, they're in there and we're getting the actual problem.
And you watched the whole thing on the screen, right? As the procedure was being.
Yes, I did. I watched most of it from what I remember. I did see what they were doing, and it was quite interesting to see. Yeah.
Let me ask you something. You had a couple surgeries, but after the first, didn't you end up attending a Lightning game?
Nice.
Yeah.
So does that mean you were feeling well enough to resume activities pretty quickly?
Yeah, actually, before I left Canada, I saw quickly at the schedule that the Toronto Maple Leafs, where I was born, were in town playing Tampa, and I thought, I'm not going to get tickets. I'm going to be done surgery. I'll probably be resting. Geez, that would have been nice to go, though. And when I got out of surgery that same day, I went home, I laid down, I iced for about an hour, took a little walk, and at this time it was about 4:30 p.m., and I said to the person that was with me, you know what, let's go get tickets to go to this game. I'm feeling okay.
That's fantastic.
And let's fast forward. How are you feeling now?
Really well, really good, and even the throughout the whole game, drive there and back, which was 45 minutes both ways, I was good.
Are you playing hockey? That's what I want to know. Are you back to playing hockey? Or are you on the ice?
I've skated, but now I'm kind of waiting till my son grows up so I can kind of coach him. I'm not really, I'm not really. I haven't been playing hockey in a while, but back to some regular things and going back to the gym and things like that.
That's awesome.
That's a huge positive and a plus.
Well, Mike,
in my life.
In closing, we appreciate you joining us. I'm assuming you consider your procedure a success, and you would recommend the Bonatti Spine Institute to others, correct?
Absolutely, and I have, yes.
Okay. Well, very good. Another success story. We appreciate you joining us, Mike, on American Medicine Today. Continued pain-free living, my friend.
Absolutely. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Okay, enjoy your day.
You too.
Right. What you talking about?
Oot and a boot.
I like it. Every time he says it, I'm like, I get a little giggle.
You were trying to get a little hockey. You were trying to get a little controversy going there if he was going to be a Canadian fan.
Well, because you've talked all kinds of smack about Montreal, and I was hoping to get it going.
I'm not a fan.
All right, but Kimberly, if people want to get in touch, how do they do so?
Well, if you or someone you know is suffering in pain, they can reach out to the Bonatti Spine Institute. You can do so by reaching 855-267-0482 or visit the website at bonatti.com. On the flip side of the break, you'll hear more from American Medicine Today. You're listening to News Radio 970, WFLA. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail. The Bonatti Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at bonatti.com.
All my pain is gone. Gone.
Today I am totally pain-free. Nothing. No after effect.
I'm pain-free, and I have had to take any pain medication.
Today I am pain-free for the first time in over a year, and it is so awesome.
I only wish I'd known about it earlier. Right now, I am completely without pain.
Sitting here in this office right now, pain-free, eager to enjoy the rest of my life.
I am feeling great.
I feel 100% better, like a new person.
Today I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just incredible, the relief I feel right now.
Today I'm completely pain-free.
During the procedure, I literally felt the pain melt away. It was fantastic.
I feel so good.
It took care of my headaches instantly.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. It gave me my life back.
It's just wonderful.
I feel fantastic.
It is just absolutely amazing.
So I'm hoping to be climbing hills in a few weeks.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonatti Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonatti spine procedures, Alfred Bonatti, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonatti and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for continuing to listen to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonatti Spine Institute. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. Alfred Bonatti, Ethan Euchre, and Jeff Wagstaff. Now we're about to hear from Moshe Doman. He's the director of Combined Distributors, Inc., and he has a product that's called the Pill Terminator, and he's going to discuss with us how to safely dispose of your medication.
Yeah, Moshe, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
I think people don't realize, I mean, there's not a lot of medication in my house. The wife and I are in our mid-30s. Not to say that you have to be elderly to take a bunch of pills, but, especially people that listen to this program that might be in pain, pain medication and things like that. There's, you don't really think about them being taken by teens in your house or kids taking them, especially after they're expired. So there's actually a take-back day today where people can safely dispose of their drugs. But tell us a little bit about the Pill Terminator and why you came to develop it.
Well, you said two things in there. One, that kids today, you don't think of kids today going for prescription medications in order to get highs. Unfortunately, it's a very big problem in that kids place more faith in prescription drugs than they do in the illicit drugs you used to buy in the street corner at night, at midnight, in the dark. Mm-hmm. Because the stuff that's illicit, everyone knows, is made in your bathtub. It's dangerous. It's backyard medicine. But the ones that are made in a laboratory under sterile conditions Those can't do any harm. Everyone knows that. So pills, kids have a tendency of being attracted toward those type of medications.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and a very personal story here for myself is that I have a cousin which obviously will remain nameless, but lives up in New York, and he's kind of the black sheep of the family. He's been pretty much cut off due to the fact that he became kind of a pillhead and would do whatever it takes to get these pills, and actually ended up taking them out of my grandmother's medicine cabinet, and she needs them for her pain. And she confronted him about it. He denied it. Blah. We all know he did it. So, it's definitely a prevalent problem that people are trying to get these pills to get a fix.
Well, if we live in a country where 4 billion prescriptions for medication are written every year. 4 billion with a B. That's quite a lot. Those remain in the medicine chest, as you say, people who need them. Also, the ones that have expired or the doctor has changed prescriptions on you. So those things remain. It's like radioactive waste. No one knows what to do with it. Try going into your local pharmacy and telling the pharmacist you want to return some unused medications. He'll roll his eyes. He can't take them back. There's too much of a danger they might wind up on the shelf by accident and be resold. Or even worse, there's a lot of counterfeit medication floating around the country today. So you can't take it back to the pharmacy. And you can't just throw these down the toilet or flush them down the water supply.
That's what terrible. That's what I was going to ask. You can't just flush them down the toilet, and why? I mean, because it contaminates the water supply?
Contamination of water supply. There was a study done by a government agency a couple of years ago of 139 streams and lakes and rivers in the United States. 80% of them had pharmaceutical residue in those bodies of water. Those get recycled to people, to animals. A terrible problem. So radioactive waste, you can't return it to the pharmacy. You can't flush them down the toilet. So something like Pill Terminator, which is about the size of a can of Coke, got some chemistry at the bottom, put in up to 300 pills, capsules, liquids, warm water, close the lid, shake it for about 10 seconds, and just throw it in the trash can.
So what is it?
Regulations are the guidelines. There are no regulations, they're guidelines. EPA and FDA have made this, told us that the best thing is to do is take advantage of the Medicine Give Back Day today. It actually does a very good job. Last year they collected over 700,000 pounds of medication.
Wow.
That's quite a bit. But if you can't wait the once a year and the few hours a day that this is available, you need something at home that you can readily dispose of these things. EPA says if you can't wait for the year, put your medications into something like a Ziploc bag, add some cat litter, or some coffee grinds and throw them in the trash. That's not very secure.
No, I know people that would dig through cat litter to get some pills.
Oh, yes.
Guarantee
Our
that.
formulation there is in a strong resin container. As soon as you shake it, there's a formulation on the inside. Everything turns to mud, a mud-like gel. And if someone should open the lid, it's going to be a very unpleasant odor and an even more unpleasant taste.
And so how does the DEA, speaking of the Take Back Day, what does the DEA do with these pills if people were to drop them off? By the way, still got a little bit of time left, and we'll give out some locations here near the end with Moshe. But what do they do how do they destroy these pills?
My understanding is that they are given in via local law enforcement and taken to giant incinerators and burned.
Okay.
Now, that has its problems in that you have to make sure it actually gets to the incinerator, and also bringing those into the air supply has its own challenges which have to be overcome as well. And that's a very big incinerator. It costs a lot of money, and it takes a lot of taxpayer dollars to finance.
I'm interested, Moshe, in understanding what your inspiration was in coming up with this Pill Terminator.
This is a long story. It was a former neighbor of mine who lives in the UK. It's a UK procedure, UK invention, really. And in the UK, one does bring medicines back to the pharmacist. That's the standard procedure in Great Britain. The pharmacist then uses this behind the counter at the end of the day for all the ones he's collected, gives them a good shake, they dissolve into the liquid, and then he, in turn, takes them over to a dump area. But in the U.S., where we cannot bring them back, we have to do it ourselves on our own. So my friend has been doing this in the UK, developed it there for over 20 years. It's been working fantastic. And recently, we started doing this here in the United States.
That's very interesting. So if people want to get one of your Pill Terminators, how do they get one of those? You got a website?
Website, pillterminator.com, also Amazon.com, and it sells for the mere price of $12 and change.
Well worth it.
Very fair. Very fair. Let's give out some of the locations where
Yeah.
people can drop things off till what, 2 o'clock today, right, Moshi?
Yes, from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock today, yes.
We know that at the Museum of Science and Industry,
better known as Mosey,
on Fowler
here in Tampa,
the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office,
in Valrico,
Clearwater Police Department,
The Plant City Police Department, Pasco Sheriff's Office,
Zephyr Hills PD,
uh,
and the Pasco Sheriff's Office over in Port Richey. So
Mhm.
that's pretty much a bunch of locations in 25 square miles of here.
yes, and even the Pasco Sheriff's Office at the Gulfview Mall. There's 2 collection sites.
That's very cool.
Well, great product.
Yeah, good stuff, Moshi. And, I'm glad you could address a problem that's sort of...
Thank you for keeping our kids and our community safe.
If I may leave you with one thought, please.
Absolutely.
The CDC in Atlanta tells us that a few years ago, 70,000 kids were rushed into the emergency room because of accidental overdose of prescription medications that they found in the medicine chest in their mother or grandmother's home. That's a frightening statistic. There's no need for it to be that high. A bit of vigilance, and we can reduce that number significantly.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you joining us today on American Medicine Today. Moshi Doman, the director of Combined Distributors, Inc., with the product, the Pill Terminator. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me. All the best.
All right, have a great day.
Take care.
So, Jeff, I know we're coming up on a break here, but and we might want to expand upon this story, but you had something that I think Kimberly sent you, a ridiculous story involving a pit bull.
Something that we saw on Facebook. Not normally where you would get a news story, but we were really touched by this. A family in Texas with a little girl was asked to babysit a friend's pet while they were on vacation. So they were watching this pet. The pet seemed to get along with the family and with other animals in the house. They were all in the backyard, and out of nowhere, the pet attacked a little girl. And the mom, like any other mom out there listening, would do anything to save her little girl. This mom literally got into a knockdown, drag-out fight with a pit bull that was attacking her daughter. In the end, it talked about her punching, literally putting her fist in the dog's mouth. It got so violent that this woman bit the dog's ear off to save her daughter. It was just such an incredible story that we were touched by it as parents that we wanted to share with our listeners.
Is this a picture that I'm looking at?
Yes.
I don't know if anyone
Little
watching the
girl.
stream can
If you can see this
that.
on the stream, look at this little princess.
God.
Yeah, Kimberly's probably got a better
Kills
angle.
me. That kills me.
That's
Having a
ridiculous.
little girl around the same age and just a little bit older, I would do exactly the same thing that mother did.
You'd tear into a pit bull's ear to get your daughter back?
I wouldn't worry about me. There would just be shreds left.
Yeah, and pit bulls,
Babies, we need to protect.
Absolutely. I mean, and pit bulls get a bad rap around the country.
I think it's how they're raised.
And it's absolutely how they're raised.
Mhm.
My wife, when I met her, I was 17 years old. She grew up with pit bulls and Dobermans and all of these quote unquote attack dogs and violent, vicious dogs, but they treated it. I mean, she had a big fat pit bull called Sassy that was just the most gentle thing in the world. I mean, very loyal. And, if strangers came in the house, great guard dog. But it's all in how you raise them. If you raise them to be mean, they're going to be mean.
It's just so scary. There wasn't a sign, supposedly, of how this dog would react, and it was a very unfortunate thing that happened. Thank God the mother was quick acting. Hopefully this little girl won't be scarred for life in both ways.
She could end up being afraid of dogs for the rest of her life.
And rightfully so.
And I know people that were attacked by dogs when they were kids, and they can't even be around them just because of the bad memories. And it's like PTSD almost.
But I'm so glad she's safe. How many times do we hear that the kids were mauled and they don't make it? And as a mom, that kills me.
And I can't agree with you more that I truly believe that in 99% of the cases, it's how these animals are raised. But in this particular case, and this is the part that's scary, is the dog, by all accounts, was friendly, got along great with the family, but they were afraid that this little girl may have been around another dog. The dog sensed
Smelled
the
it.
smell, and then
And
it just went
attacked.
nuts. So you never know. They're not, they're wild animals.
Yep, you got to be careful. Coming up, our favorite segment, correct?
What's new in American medicine today with Dr. Alfred Bonati?
Do we know what he's going to rage about today?
I have some ideas. He might talk about term limits, kind of the pros and cons, and there's some other things that he's riled up about. So we'll find out more coming up after the break. You're listening to American Medicine Today on News Radio 970 WFLA. Stay tuned. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail. The Bonati Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at bonati.com.
All my pain is gone. Gone. Gone.
Today I am totally pain-free. Nothing. No after effect.
I'm pain-free, and I have had to take any pain medication.
Today I am pain-free for the first time in over a year, and it is so awesome.
I only wish I'd known about it earlier. Right now, I am completely without pain.
Sitting here in this office right now, pain-free, eager to enjoy the rest of my life.
I am feeling great.
I feel 100% better, like a new person.
Today I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just incredible, the relief I feel right now.
Today I'm completely pain-free.
During the procedure, I literally felt the pain melt away. It was fantastic.
I feel so good.
It took care of my headaches instantly.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. It gave me my life back.
It's just wonderful.
I feel fantastic.
It is just absolutely amazing.
So I'm hoping to be climbing hills in a few weeks.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brummel.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute. I'm Kimberly Brummel, joined by world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. Alfred Bonati, Ethan Euchre, and Jeff Wagstaff. Earlier in the program, we spoke with patient Michael DiPier Domenico, and he was talking about his experience being in Canada and some of that socialized medicine. We're going to turn now to Dr. Alfred Bonati, and he's going to tell us what's new in American medicine today.
Let's look at what's new in medicine today, featuring Alfred Bonati, MD.
Well, first I apologize for my voice. I have laryngitis, so all my friends, the Democrats, must be really happy that this happened to me.
We finally shut them up. That's what they're saying.
But I think I still want to say something because Mike just talked to you. What is the future? Mm-hmm. Please listen to this man. Please listen how he lost his life. Please listen that he was injured at 17 years old, and when he was 33 years old, needs to find in another country a solution for his life. This is not a joke. This is the typical behavior of socialized medicine. It's going to happen if you let the thing happen. Please, I'm not begging for me. I'm begging for your future, the family, and the situation of your friends, and the future of medicine in the country. I apologize. Listen to what he said. He said he was injured 17 years old. He went to a physician place where they told him after waiting 8 hours that he needs to take some pills. Then he goes and waits again for 12 hours and had the same problem.
What he was saying is during that time, he said in Canada, it's not typical practice to have really good health care. And what they do is normally when you go in, they can't wait to hand you those pills. And they say, here, and then they hand you over to maybe a psychologist.
They say pain management. That's what got me is
it's
that
only pain management. And he said, unless you're truly wheelchair bound,
they won't do anything
they don't
for you.
touch you.
Especially at such a young age.
Mhm.
And what kills me is that kind of goes against what a lot of people in America think about Canadian healthcare is, we're fed by the mainstream media, as Rush would say, by the drive-by media, that that in Canada they have socialized medicine and that it's fantastic, that everybody gets free healthcare and everybody's good and nobody gets sick. And it clearly is not the case.
This goes right along with what Dr. Bonatti has been speaking about week after week, that socialized medicine has a high rate of failure because you're not getting the service you need in a timely fashion. So that's why it's absolutely dangerous to continue on that path, and you're hearing it firsthand from some of the patients. You've heard even people in the United States talk about it.
And we have so many people here in the Tampa Bay area who've retired that live here with us part of the year, or
the snowbirds.
many folks have just moved from Canada.
Sure.
But you hear the horror stories, and they talk about that they come to the United States for obviously a beautiful place to vacation in the weather, but also for the health care.
Well, you need to know that that's exactly what happened. Remember that Canada has an exit of healthcare in the United States. The people in some of the places, they need to wait months before they have an MRI. When they have that MRI, they go to the MRI. I mean, they really, the MRI people is ready with a schedule. When they look for the person, that person doesn't come there. So the list of people is the only cancellations, because what they did is they come to the United States. They have that opportunity. They have that possibility. That doesn't happen in other countries. When you have this trashy healthcare, this Obama behavior all over these other countries, then the situation is you have no hope. Imagine, just put yourself on the body of this gentleman, 17 years old, and he is being told that his life is over.
He
That
gave up.
he needs to go and sit and have some nurse to tell him, you need to be brave. You need to live with this. Other people has this problem.
Told him to meditate.
Told them to meditate, to do some type of a sleep disorders thing.
And they told him to give up everything this man loved. He worked 10 years in a field and had to completely leave it because of the pain.
You need to understand, he lost his business.
Yes.
He lost, I don't know if he lost his family or not, but he lost his business. But the most important thing, the business can be rebuilt. He lost his life. You
Lost
heard
all
at the
that
very end, he said, I am not playing anymore, but I am going to teach my kids to do this passion that he had. So this is not a joke. I know that the people maybe listen to me and say, well, it's another Republican. Let me tell you this, I'm not Republican, neither am a Democrat. I'm a person with common sense. I'm trying to talk to people with common sense. I want to let her know what happened and why. And this is just because we have a problem with the management of the individuals that they are in the government. These people need to be removed from the government in a period of time that they don't become callous, irresponsible, and they don't hurt the needs of the country.
Amen.
Absolutely.
And that's a look at what's new in medicine today with Alfred Bonati, MD.
That sounded painful, by the way, Dr. Bernardi.
You need to get better.
On the vocal cords. You do got to get better, sir. Well, coming up on the end of another fantastic program. I know that, real quick, I pulled this story. You guys know I'm a big MMA fan, mixed martial arts, UFC. There's a guy named Dan Hardy who's from the UK, and apparently he was a top contender, and he is not able to fight in the UFC at the present time because of the healthcare system here. Because the long and short of it is he was diagnosed with a heart condition by an American doctor. They said, you have to get this done to be cleared to fight. He went home to the UK. His doctor there looked at him and said, you're fine. You don't need a procedure done. So it's, what do I do? Do I go back to the States to fight for my organization? That's what pays the bills, but I have to have an unnecessary procedure done, or what? And as it is right now, he's decided not to get it done. So, it's affecting everybody all over the place.
Absolutely. And make sure you stay tuned this evening, 7 p.m. Tune in to the American Medicine Today TV show on WFTS ABC 28. If you have someone that lives with back, neck, or sciatic pain, call the Bonati Spine Institute, 855-267-0482, or visit Bonati.com. You only need one reason to come to Bonati, and that's because we succeed where others fail. Stay tuned next week. We'll talk more between noon and 1 p.m. You're listening to News Radio 970, WFLA. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail. The Bonati Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at Bonati.com.
All my pain is gone. Gone.
Today I am totally pain-free. Nothing. No after effect.
I'm pain-free, and I have had to take any pain medication.
Today I am pain-free for the first time in over a year, and it is so awesome.
I only wish I'd known about it earlier. Right now, I am completely without pain.
Sitting here in this office right now, pain-free, eager to enjoy the rest of my life.
I am feeling great.
I feel 100% better, like a new person.
Today I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just incredible, the relief I feel right now.
Today I'm completely pain-free.
During the procedure, I literally felt the pain melt away. It was fantastic.
I feel so good.
It took care of my headaches instantly.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. It gave me my life back.
It's just wonderful.
I feel fantastic.
It is just absolutely amazing.
So I'm hoping to be climbing hills in a few weeks.
Revolutionary in his field,